Okay, so I read two books. They're really tiny. You can't even see them. So I read Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy, and I read The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I'm going to talk about The Sapling Cage first. This was submitted by Braca Quiltusk. They are an orc VTuber. They do some bookish VTuber content as well, I think. I'm pretty sure. So, and they submitted quite a few books, and I only put like a certain number on my list because there was like a million. But so good. I basically had to make a rule for myself because I had multiple people suggest multiple books, and so if I got to their suggestion already, and I read that one already, and then I have a second suggestion in the book bowl, and I'm not feeling it, it's okay if I don't read it. Because I committed to reading everything that someone suggested to me, but if some people have several things in the mix, so I have to draw the line somewhere if I'm really not enjoying the book. But in any case, with The Sapling Cage, it was a win. So this book is the first book in a trilogy called The Daughters of the Empty Throne, and it's about Laurel, and they have always been dreamed of becoming a witch. They're cool. They use magic. They fight monsters. And even though the witches are being blamed for the strange cold plague going around that only affects trees throughout the kingdom, Laurel still wants nothing more to become a witch. The only problem is that all witches are women in this world, and Laurel was born a boy. So Laurel disguises herself and takes her best friend's place when the witches come around to claim their new witch fledglings, and she begins her journey towards self-discovery and world discovery. She makes friends and frenemies, and she starts to learn magic and about the greater threats looming over the kingdom. More than that, though, Laurel mostly fears that she will get kicked out of the coven if she is discovered, and wants to learn body transformation magic as soon as possible. So yeah, this is a trans witch story. It's I really like this book. I love that the witches are anarchists. I love that it's a trans coming of age story. This book should probably market itself as being like older young adult fiction, or even like a new adult book. And it doesn't. It just says it's like adult fantasy. I definitely think this book is more of a YA fantasy because of the subject matter, and it's a coming of age story, but like, it's whatever. Don't put yourself in a box. It's just a book. It's fine. Just read whatever book you want to read. The pacing is a bit slow, and there are points where I'm not sure the main character, Laurel, is really taking part of the story. But that changes in the last like quarter of the book. There isn't like a huge transition to show this growth in Laurel, but honestly, I don't mind too much. There are some character relationships that are quite inconclusive at the end of the book, but like, this is going to be a trilogy. It's probably going to be solved later down the line. It's fine. I like the overall theme of this book, which, well, there are multiple themes. It's a whole novel, but the one that stands out to me the most is that, especially after it's been a few weeks, like maybe 2 weeks since I've read this book, I really like the theme of it's like not letting yourself being tied to a fate that you don't want. You can always make the changes in your own life to make things better for yourself to a certain degree, and you shouldn't let the opinions of others or anything else in the world hold you back. And there's like a separate message at the end of the book that's quite good. I'm not sure if it's like as punchy and in your face enough as I wanted it to be, but I think that it suited the main character, as Laurel was just not a very punchy type of person. So Laurel's internal peace that she comes to at the end of the book, and it doesn't, like, it's kind of just a very quiet internal piece. Like, it matched the pace with the rest of the book and how the character is written and acts. So ultimately, I'd say I like this book, and I do recommend it. It's published by a small press. It's a college, university, New York something feminist press, and so it's cool. It's a small press author, very cool. It's going to be a trilogy, and I'll probably read the second book when it comes out eventually. I don't know when any of the other books are going to come out. So yeah. You should read Sapling Cage, and here's the mini of it. You cannot see the minis today. I think yeah. Oh no, they're backwards and forwards and not right. Come on, there we go. Oh god. Yeah, the camera's having issues today, but that's okay. All right, the second book is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I actually have this book physically, unfortunately. It's like a really, I got this used somewhere, and I have it. So The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss is a Bill Dungsroman. So it's like a story that covers the entire like life of a child from like when they were young until they become an adult, and like, I think this book goes beyond that, but it's about Kavoth, a magically gifted young man who grows to be the most notorious wizard the world has ever seen. The dude, Kvoth, is like literally telling his life story to the scribe guy, and Kvoth is like, I need 3 whole days to tell you my life story, or else. And so he gets to the storytelling, and he starts basically from birth, like where he starts his life at. And he starts in like a troupe of traveling, like play acts, theater players, I don't know. Then tragedy strikes, and he starts talking about his life in the streets. And then, because they mention it 6 billion times until this point, he goes to the legendary school of magic. And it's a coming of age story. It's really slow, but it's a coming of age story nonetheless. But I don't have enough time in my life to dedicate to reading this book. This is a mass market paperback, and it's like 700 pages. And so that makes for a 30-hour audiobook. I got about 10 hours into this audiobook, and I was like, yeah, I don't really care anymore about this story. And it's just more like, I don't care right now. It's not written bad. It's not written bad. Wow. It's not written poorly, but it is extremely slow. And my attention span at this time of the year in the winter, I just don't have it. I don't have the attention span for this kind of a book. I don't need to know every single detail of Kvoth's life to make this story good. And Kvoth himself insists that it is necessary to know every little detail of his life, but I don't really get why yet. I'm hoping that the end of this book would actually tie things together, but I'm hesitant to say that it would. Every time I start getting interested in what's going on in the plot, things end up taking far too long to get going, and I've lost interest again, or it just goes off in a different direction that I was hoping that it wouldn't go in. There was a character named Trip in the story, so points for that, though. Yeah. I'll probably try to finish this in the spring or summer when I have more capacity for huge, sprawling fantasies, but honestly, I just did not find it very interesting. It's not written poorly, and it's kind of funny at times, but it's just that it's not that great for me right now. And I feel bad saying that because I'm probably going to get killed on the internet for saying such a thing. But because the Patrick Rothfuss fanboys and presumably girls and they thems people are very protective of this author, and that's fine. That's cool. Just don't kill me, please. Thank you. I'll read it later. So maybe don't murder me yet. Wait till I have like a fully formed opinion on the book. Okay. And that's the thing, like, I like fantasy. I don't know. I really have to be in the right mindset for that kind of fantasy. And I wasn't. Next, I'm going to pull 2 books. So, I think some of my book pullings were on stream, some of them were not. I'm still going to continue with that for next year. I have read about half of the books that were in this book bowl. Alright. There's so many pink ones in here still. Let's see what I get. Is it pink? It's pink. Oh! It's one of my books. Alright. I've been waiting to read this book because I read the first chapter of this like 2 years ago, and I thought, that's really cool. I just haven't read it yet. It's called Ink, Blood, Sister Scribe by Emma Torzs. And, hold on. Ja-ja! It's too big! It's Ink, Blood, Sister Scribe by Emma Torzs. I'll show it in a second. This book is about the Calote family, and they guard some ancient book. All magic comes with a price, though for the years the sisters have been separated. Esther has fled to a remote base in Antarctica to escape the fate that killed her mother, and Joanna's isolated herself in their family home in Vermont, devoting her life to the study of these cherished volumes. But then their father dies suddenly, and the sisters have to reunite, and it has to do with like the magic of book binding and the magic that these books hold. Yeah, again, I read the first chapter of this a while ago, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. I like this, the way this is written, but I just have not read it yet. So I'm excited to get my hands on it. My hand is already on it. I'm excited to read it. All right, and so for my second book, this one. It's a book. Okay. What is it? Oh, it's one of my other. It's like I read so many of other people's books that there aren't as many of the suggested books anymore. Okay, it's called. Oh my god, this one I'm not sure about. It's called To Cage a God. It's really tiny. I have this book as well. This is the first time I've ever drawn both the books that are physically on my TBR. This is an Illumicrate exclusive that I got on accident. I didn't mean to get it this month, but I did. It's called To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. I like the sprayed edges, actually. Normally I hate sprayed edges, but these are actually pretty cool. It's a very nice Nice, nice. I think it's a Russian fantasy inspired book. That's nice too. Woo. Yeah, it's definitely Russian inspired when you saw that part. So let's see. Using ancient secrets, Galena and Sarah's mother grafted gods into their bones. Bound to brutal deities and granted forbidden power no commoner has held in a millennia. The sisters have been raised as living weapons. Now, the time has come for them to overthrow the empire, no matter the cost. Okay. I mean, I'm not uninterested in this book. I just got this book on, like, I meant to order a different book through Illumicrate, and I got this one instead because they're, like, mystery books. So, I just have this one. We'll see how it goes. But this is it. This is also, I don't know, it's, like, kind of a really busy cover, but maybe it'll be good. We'll see. And then I am actually excited to read this. Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Torzs. Okay, first time for everything, and me drawing 2 books that are already on my to be read shelf. So that's kind of neat. So the goal this year, obviously, is to get through all of them. I think I'm just going to make these to upload the videos of my reviews, like, once a month, and be like, however far I get, whether it's like 2 books or it's 4 books. Hopefully it's 4 books. Then I'll upload them all at once. Then that's kind of what I had started doing, but it was like unofficial, and now I'm making it official. And now you know. So yeah, I'll be reading Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Torzs and To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. The lighting is so bright you can't like quite see it. Here we go. Yeah. It's too shiny.
One eternity later.
So normally I read a book a week and things go really fast, but it's been like a whole month since I've last been here, sitting here talking about books. And so, just to defend myself, I have been reading, but I've been reading all these books. I was reading all these books. And so I was also reading the other 2 books I'm going to talk about, but 2 of these books I had to read for my book club. I have a book club, in case you didn't know. We meet every other Tuesday. Sometimes we talk about manga. Right now we're reading JoJo's Part 3. We're actually meeting on a Wednesday. We're meeting on February 25th on a Wednesday. Normally we meet on Tuesdays. Yeah, we had to read River of Teeth by Sarah Gailey. We had to. It was my choice for January for our book club, which is a hippo western. If you like, instead of riding horses, these cowboys are riding hippos. It's pretty fun. It's only about like 150 pages. I recommend it if you think that sounds interesting, because it's not going to take you very long to read it. And we also read The Dead Cattail Assassins by P. Djeli Clark for my book club, and we talked about that last week, I think, or maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. Oh my gosh, I don't know. And that is fun. If you liked the movie Dungeons & Dragons Heroes Among Thieves, I think you will like this book. It really has the same vibe to it. But the other 2 books, Audition by Katie Kitamura, I just picked it up because it was a really short audiobook, and I don't recommend it. It's, of course, if you like literary fiction, you might like it. It's about this lady, and she's aging, and she's like an actor, and she has gotten a whole bunch of roles, like acting before, and this young man comes into her life, and he says he really respects her, and thinks that he's her mom, and she's like, there's no way you're my mom, or I'm your kid, because like I've never gotten pregnant before or whatever. I don't know. And things happen. There's a lot of gaslighting in the book, and I thought that it was going to be have a thriller fun ending. It does have an unhinged ending, but it's not fun. It's not good. I don't recommend that book unless you really like literary fiction where nothing really happens. And it's more about introspection and being boring, in my own humble opinion. And Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett is a 3rd book in a series, the Emily Wilde series. I'm not going to talk too much about this book. It was just the 3rd book in the series, and I had started it earlier in the year, and I really wanted to finish it sometime in January, so I did. It's a good solid end to the book. I recommend reading the first one if you like fairy tales and epistolary novels, like novels told in letters, and if you like a little romance on the side. I just want to defend myself. This is why it's taken so long. I was reading other books. Normally I don't. I just read what my prompts are, and then I read my book club books as well, but those don't usually come into effect, I guess. They don't affect my reading for this book project. All right, so that's that. Now I have these books. So first one I have to talk about is To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. I have my mini book here, but I got a special edition of this book. I didn't realize I was buying that. And this one is the normal edition. Both pretty good colors. Actually, it's pretty much the same. It's just color like the color choices were different. This is also a reason why it took me so long. But I have to give you a prompt. I have to tell you what this book is about before I complain about it. To Cage of God by Elizabeth May. Book. One, this book is really heavy, so it was kind of unpleasant to read. This book is about, oh my god, it's so heavy it moved my tripod. This book is, I think it's like 7 pounds, which is crazy for a book to be that heavy. Cage of God. It's about Galena and Sarah. They are sisters hiding in a small town on the outskirts of the kingdom because they have been traumatized by their violent past. These will not let them forget the trauma because they have been crafted into living weapons by their now deceased mother. They both have gods bound to their bones. That's like the start of the book. We know this at the very, very beginning. In this world, the gods seem to be dragons that have great powers. And if Galena and Sarah ask the dragon that's bound to their bones to help them, they get like magical powers, like flying powers and like fire powers. Maybe some of the gods are bound to the bones, like require a blood sacrifice before they'll do that. You know, it's different for everyone, but they don't like that about them. They can't get the dragon gods to go away from their, ungraft them from their bones. So they're living a quiet life on the countryside just to like try to, I don't know, survive. But this doesn't last, obviously, because this is a really long book. Someone kills the king of their kingdom, which leads Galena and Sarah to return to the capital and begin this plot to take down the queen by infiltrating the empire, which is really easy because only rich people are supposed to have like the god powers, but Galena shows that she has powers like really early on in the book, and all the nobles are like, oh my god, and then the plot gets really boring from there. I didn't finish this book. I tried to finish it. I realized I could finish it. I got this far into the book. I read like a little over 150 pages. The plot was just so slow. I realized it was going to take me forever to read because I had to like sit down. I had to like sit down and be like, you can't do anything else, Trips. You just have to concentrate on reading this book. You can't look forward to anything. You have to just think about reading this book, because I just did not care. The plot was so slow and incredibly dull. The book is pitched as being great for people who love the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo, but I can see why, because Shadow and Bone is like a Russian fairy tale sort of inspired series with its world building. And this also has Russian history. It's like Russian history inspired world building with a wash of dragon magic, I guess is what I would say. Which was cool. The main characters were haunted by their magical powers due to the nature of how they get them and what they've done with them, but I just wasn't going to wait another 200 pages to get into it. The characters talk to you like, oh man, my past is so tragic, but they don't want to tell me what happened, and I realized I would have to read more into the book to figure out what actually happened and care about them, and it's just like, you didn't do anything to make me care about your characters in 150-ish pages, so I don't want to read about you anymore, and I don't need to know that in your past, the only thing I know about one of the girls' past really is that she climbed a man's body every single night. Men are not mountains, and so I don't like that word. Think of a better way to say that. That's just a personal preference, though. I know that's very common in books. I wonder if a younger reader, like not a child because it's definitely an adult book, but like a reader in their early 20s, would like appeal to their book, or this book would appeal to them more, because I just thought like it was just a very obvious retelling of actual Russian history with like a little bit of dragon magic and not a lot else to do with anything I wanted to read about. So that's the end of that rant. Climbing the Old Man Mountain. Ba-ba! Inkblood Sisters Scribe by Emma Torzs. And then I have the mini book here, which actually looks like it. Hooray! Except it has like a Book of the Month sticker, I think, on it. But whatever. Inkblood Sisters Scribe is a standalone fantasy novel. And from the get-go, I want to let you know that this book has a lot going on, but it buries the true story on the back cover. The back cover, like this description here. So when you're looking up the book and you're like, I think it's going to be this way, the book takes a very different direction than you think it's going to be. But it's just better to go in not knowing too much, but also my description is going to be a little vague. So this book is about two sisters that have both been tasked with guarding their family's library of magical books. The two sisters have very different roles. Joanna remains isolated in her family home surrounded by the books, while Esther moves around the world, changing location every year. This has gone on for years, but things start to change when Joanna and Esther's father, suddenly dies while reading one of the magical books. His body is like completely sucked dry of blood, and then on the other side of the world, Joanna decides to not move for 1 year. Every year on the same day she moves, like to just a completely different location in the world. But this past year, she had been working in Antarctica, and she decided, I'm going to spend another year on Antarctica, which then, like, basically, their father dying and Joanna deciding not to move creates like a chain of events that just start like domino affecting all over each other. Is that a phrase? That lead the sisters reuniting, and in the process they uncover that the world of magic that they know is much darker and wider than they could have ever imagined. I honestly felt grateful that I read this book finally. I had a great time reading this one. It was really fun, but to say fun is not quite right. It was actually a really tense book. The plot starts out kind of slow, but it progresses in a way where every chapter leaves you like, uh-oh, about something or someone, but it never got tired. It just felt like, oh, I want to keep reading this book, especially about like 20 to 30% in. It just was like full speed ahead for me. I really didn't want to stop reading it. I did read this much faster than I read Takejigata. I think Takejigata, it took me like a full week to get 150 pages in, and I read this book in about 4 days, which is pretty good. I'd say. I personally felt that Torzs wrote this book in a really smart way, where you would get information that was unknown to one of the characters, and then that information would later be revealed in a different character's chapter, and then eventually the information would converge in a way that didn't feel like they were repeating themselves. It was really cool. The magic system was super interesting. It's all about books and writing books that can do magic things, and you have to read the books aloud for the magic to work. This novel is about 400 pages, and I could have actually done with another 100 pages, to be honest. I was having a really good time of it. It is a standalone fantasy, which I could applaud, but there was something so charming about all the characters and this like magical realism urban fantasy setting that I really would have been fine with more. Especially because I feel like the author added this really fast character development in like the last 25% of the book that was not necessary. I think this author was like, what if I never get to publish a book again? So she shoved everything she possibly could in it. But I kind of wish like that had been separated into like a different book, or just given me a longer book so that it wouldn't feel like it was shoehorned in, you know? But either way, I still really enjoyed this book. It's a great debut novel from this author, and I really hope she gets to publish another book again. I know, like, so I said just a second ago, To Cage of God was recommended to people who are a fan of Leigh Bardugo's Shadow and Bone series, but I actually recommend Inkblood Sister Scribe for those who are a fan of the Ninth House series by Leigh Bardugo. They aren't like exact comps or anything, but it has like this dark academia vibe with having little to do with actually like school that Ninth House has too, and it's just the kind of dark academia I like, where it's about learning but not quite about learning. There's a lot of darkness, there's a lot of good twists. I really like this one. Highly recommend it, actually. Which I'm glad, because I've held on to this book for like 3 years now, and I was gonna cry if I'd hated it. Whereas To Cage of God, I accidentally purchased for myself. I bought it through like a mystery book box, and I thought I was getting a completely different book than what I got. So I was like, oh, heck. Am I even going to like this? Turns out, no, I didn't like it. But it's okay. I'm going to donate it to somebody that will like it. Somebody that's more in like their reading age demographic or something like that. Or just the library, probably. Okay. So now the last thing I have to do is I got to pull a book. Sorry, that was really loud. If it was loud for you. I had to like topple this over so I can do this. Yeah. Come on, honeys, we'll see. I need to pull out my... There we go. I need to open up one file. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I want a book that isn't on my own TBR, since that's what I've pulled for a couple times now. Which I don't think is actually an issue, but, you know. There's still a lot of books in here that other people submitted, so we'll see. Okay, I'm going to pull 2 again because, you know, that's just how I feel like I can get through 2 a month, and then I come back at the end of the month. I'd like to do it like every 2 weeks, but we know that doesn't happen. So we'll see. Let's see what I get. I'm going to shut my eyes. I'm going to like really... I haven't shaken this in a really long time. Like a full month. Okay. This one. Is this a book? I don't know if this is a book. I do have wild card prompts. Let's see. Oh, it's a wild card prompt, or it's like one of my other books. Let's see. So this is a little piece of paper. And I don't know what it's going to say. It says, oh my gosh, I did it. I got spin the wheel. That makes things so complicated. Okay. I have like, how many books are there on here? I have 21 books that were recommended to me after I had already made all of the, you can't even see this, it says spin the wheel. It says spin the wheel. That were recommended to me after I made all my mini books. So I have to like, so the ideal was like everyone that recommended me a book afterwards would get like one chance. Maybe for me to read that book. So we'll see. There's a lot of books and I don't even know who wrote a lot of them. Well, I know some of them. Like I have the whole Scott Pilgrim series on there. Obviously, I know that one. That would be a reread. I'm not going to spin the wheel just yet. I will in a second. I'm going to pull another book first. Let's see. Maybe it'll be Honey's. Or a real book. Spin it around again. Let's do this one. This one's a book. What did I get? Oh no, this one's is my book. This one is Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. And I have the physical book here, so I'll show it to you in just a second. So I have the signed special edition of Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. I just got it because it was super on sale, to be honest with you. So like the normal version is pink, but the version I have is gold, and it has like sprayed edges, which aren't my favorite, but that's okay. I don't remember. This is about 1931 Shanghai Mafia story is what I think is what this book is about. So that'll be interesting to read. I mean, obviously it's been on my bookshelf forever, so I should be looking forward to it, shouldn't I? At this point, I'm like, do I even want to read these books? To a certain degree. But we'll see. How long are you? You're beefy. Why are you so beefy? 551 pages. That's not actually so bad, but it just looks big. Plus the font. Oh my god, did you see the font? I didn't show the font. The font is huge. The font is big, so it actually probably won't actually take me that long. Okay. I feel better about that, actually. Okay. And then I'm going to have to spin this wheel. How the heck am I going to spin this wheel? Okay. Look at my awful thing, and then I'm just going to put them in here. I have this one that's like nothing. Okay, so this should be good. Okay, so there's like a ton, and I don't even have the authors written for a lot of these, so we'll see what I get, and then whatever I get, I will look into. If I don't already know. There's a couple I know what they are. But we'll see. Ah! What say you, spinner wheel? Oh, okay. Yay! Oh no, I have to read Scott Pilgrim again. Oh no! Oh, yay! It's the only one that I knew that would be a reread for me. Yay! I feel like this looks rigged. It's not rigged. It's not rigged. Well, that'll be a fun reread for me anyway. There were some things that I kind of wanted. There was a lot of books I had never heard of before. So, we'll see. All right, so I guess that's what I'm reading. I'm reading Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, and I'm reading Scott Pilgrim by Brian Lee O'Malley, which, you know, that's could be so much worse. There's some things on here that I didn't totally want. Like the Expanse series, I'm sure that would have been good to read for, like, me, but I didn't know if I wanted to read it. I wouldn't read the entire Hitchhiker's Guide. I would have just reread the first book, which would be a reread, and then a bunch of these I don't know about. And The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo and Every Adventure Needs Weapons, The Meticulous Rudy's Blacksmith Life. Those are the two that particularly interested me. And all these other ones, I was like, I don't know. Sure. Anyway, I spun the wheel. Goodbye. Okay, there we go. Well, that was fun. So in those like slips, I have like the slips of paper prompts. I have a few that are actually like books that I have like bigger minis of that wouldn't fit into like the little capsules that I got, but I haven't gotten any of those yet. We'll see when I do. Those are all kids books, like the Babysitter's Club series and like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which would be fine rereads for me. I haven't read them since I was like 8, so